All right, guys, this is Numan Mustafa here from Aviatrix, along with the principal architect John Smoker from Aviatrix as well, with another video podcast, very quick one this time around, hopefully. But this is around several requests that I've received from customers and from our community members or community experts around networking regarding a LinkedIn post I did a while back, which basically prescribes how a customer can save significant amount of cost savings um, on NAT gateways. So as you know that NAT gateway is an important functionality for applications to access internet in the cloud. And then most of the cloud service providers provide this functionality. But with Aviatrix secure egress capabilities, you can realize even millions of dollars of savings in a year, depending on your data processing charges. So in this video podcast, John Smoker will demonstrate how this can easily be done without changing your architecture. He has done it prior to joining Aviatrix. He was managing a cloud infrastructure at a customer. He did that over there. So he is the one who has been there, done that. So we're going to demonstrate that through how easy it is to make a flip in terms of changing your NAT capability from cloud native NAT gateways to Aviatrix secure egress gateways. Not only that, you will get security, better visibility, which normally you will not get from a NAT capability from a cloud native provider. So in this demo also, we will show you how you can then go and have a better control of security. So you can whitelist certain sites, you can blacklist certain sites, which directly aligns to your overall security posture. So, as opposed to having a unrestricted access to internet, now you can control which sites are allowed, makes you more secure, and it also helps you with your compliance and audit, especially if you are in a regulated industry. So, with that, John, please go ahead and share with our audience on how it can easily be done and some of your experiences. And then we do have a lot of tools that can help you understand how much the cost savings you can have. You can use Cost Explorer. Let's say if you are using AWS, they have a tool called Cost Explorer that can tell you how much savings on that gateway you can have. And also we have our own tools that can help you look at the bill, punch in some numbers, and figure out that yes, indeed, you will be able to save a lot of cost on that. We are also working with our cloud service providers, AWS, who are working with us in terms of helping customers with cost savings if they have the need for it. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Nema. Hey, on the screen here, this is the repository for all of the code that you'll see in this demonstration. And this is just it's a brownfield example. As you mentioned, exactly what I did when I was a customer. We had NAT gateways. We wanted to replace them with Aviatrix Secure Egress Gateways. So all of the VPC, everything was already existing. We just want to drop in the Secure Egress Gateway, and then without any downtime, switch over to it. And then once you do that, you get the visibility into all of your internet traffic. And from there, you can take that next step to secure that traffic. So yeah, this repository out here, I've already deployed what's in this diagram. So just a simple VPC, public subnet, private subnet. I have a EC2 instance in the private subnet that is generating traffic out to the internet. Initially, as we stand right now, it's doing this across the AWS NAT Gateway. And as I mentioned, we will go through a multi-step process of switching over to the Aviatrix Gateway, noting the visibility, and then locking down that traffic so that only things that we explicitly allow to the internet are allowed. Everything else will be blocked. Perfect. And as part of this repository, I've documented exactly the steps that I'll take us through right now. Oh, and to mention, outside of the scope of that repository, I did deploy our controller copilot, so our control plane, to control our gateway and give us this visibility. So you'll see that as well. two instances deployed right now. Again, one is the traffic generation instance in the private subnet. One is our gateway. I just wanted to pull up the route table for this instance really quickly, just so that we can see that anything that's that this instance is trying to get to the internet is going to go across that NAT gateway.
Yep, I can see that.
And then let's connect to this instance and generate some traffic here.
This is basically unrestricted access. Even though it's NAT capability, you can reach anywhere on the internet.
That's correct. Yeah. So I'll just curl quick short pull that page up. Maybe do another one here. We'll pull up aviatrix.com. Maybe a non tech website as well. And then I'll just do a quick DNS lookup. So that as well. So there's all of that unfettered access, but also, you know, don't have any visibility. Like this instance is generating other traffic. I just have no way to see what that could possibly be.
So as a cloud administrator, cloud infrastructure operations guy, you don't have any visibility in terms of what is being accessed out to the internet from your applications that may be from your VPC that may be running your crown jewel applications. There's no way, there's no visibility. So now I think with secure egress at Aviatrix secure egress capability, I think we can demonstrate that.
So yeah, so first thing, let's go over to to the code here that built this infrastructure, and I'm just simply going to set the Aviatrix egress to true. So this is going to set a value in our gateway that will effectively update the route in that route table so that all traffic will not go through our gateway.
So both of the gateways are still running. NAT gateway is also there. Secure egress is also there. All you have done is switch the routing from the NAT gateway to a secure egress gateway, Aviatrix secure egress gateway.
That's correct, because we want to do this without incurring downtime to our applications.
Yep.
Fairly quick process this, because it really is just modifying that route. Oh, and the other part that it is doing is it is enabling discovery on our gateway. So that's the feature where we're going to log all of that traffic. Perfect. So now if I go back to my gateway, you can see that its ping was uninterrupted during that time.
No interruption, zero down.
I could go and do all of these same things I did before. Make sure I can still, I still have access to the internet. All of that looks good. The difference it being now, if I go take a look in Copilot, I can come down to our egress. And now I can see the top domains that are being hit. You see Amazon, Microsoft, Google.
ESPN, yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I can
that
I think that normally you may not allow from a, let's say, VPC that's running your SAP S/4HANA.
Yeah, exactly right. And so here, just to prove what we're doing, let me just do something that wasn't in that list. Let's do that. And then if we go back to Copilot and refresh that data, and now you see CNN.com is there as well.
That's quick. So basically give your security guys, operations guys eyes into what exactly is happening into your cloud environment, so you can block things that should not be allowed. And specifically with the cloud where internet is sitting next to your applications, it's very important that you have that visibility because once you have the visibility, you can control things. If you don't have visibility, there's no way you can control things. So it's an important angle for security.
Yeah, and just as a kind of a funny anecdote, when the very first Aviatrix Gateway I put into service, I put it into a Dev VPC, did exactly what we showed here, and all of the things that we expected to see, we saw. It calls out to other applications, third parties, the things that we expected, and then we also saw something very unexpected, and it turned out that that particular application had been running some traffic. It was legacy code that hadn't been used in years, but nobody realized that they hadn't turned it off. And so it had just spent years generating traffic for no reason. So we put the Aviatrix Gateway in, we get the visibility, and by the end of that first day, we had turned off that that part of that application. And I don't know how much we were being charged for that data, but it's just, you don't know what you don't know.
It's a brilliant point, and I think that all of it boils down to visibility of your traffic, because once you have visibility, you can save cost, you can make it more secure, and you can better plan your environment to be high performant as opposed to not having visibility at all. So it's very, very important point, John.
Yep. So speaking of saving cost, now that we are using the Aviatrix Gateway exclusively, let's get rid of the AWS NAT Gateways, just decommission it. And typically, you would run this in discovery mode and maybe you keep the NAT Gateway up for a period of time in case, just make yourself feel comfortable in case you needed to fall back. Run discovery mode for weeks, months, maybe over some special days, end of month, like whatever, so you know that you have that you know what your traffic patterns look like.
Yep. While you are completely removing that NAT gateway, one thing I want to mention is the NAT gateway or the secure egress gateway that you're deploying is dedicated to you as a customer, right? So there's no other customers sharing that resource. Most of the times, the CSPs, they operate on economies of scale, which means that they have fleet of NAT gateways, fleet of EC2 instances running the transit, for example, and it's shared across multiple customers, right? So there is a reason why you are not able to get access to your particular instance, because that instance is not just for you. It's basically for many other customers that are leveraging it. In Aviatrix case, that gateway that you're deploying is specific to you, which means now you can actually drill down and look at things and control things and make it more secure. So I wanted to highlight that specific point while you're doing this, John.
Yeah, this part does take a minute or so, and I did want to highlight. So we are bringing down that NAT gateway, as well as the EIP that the NAT gateway was using. So those are the two things that are being destroyed now. I also wanted to just highlight here, I didn't want anyone to think that I'm glossing over. I did run a command to remove, so essentially when I deployed the NAT gateway originally, the Terraform also created that route to the internet, explicitly. Terraform wanted to manage that route. Now that we've switched over to our gateway, Aviatrix is controlling that route. So there's a conflict at that point between Terraform wanting to control the route and Aviatrix wanting to control the route, or the controller wanting to control the route. So I essentially told Terraform, you're no longer in charge of that route, and we'll just leave it up to the controller. Okay, so now we've destroyed that. I don't know if it's worth maybe making sure that or demonstrating that we still can get to the internet. That gateway is not there, but we're still working. And so now what we want to do is we want to lock down this gateway so we don't have full access to the internet. And so to do that, I'm going to come back over here. And I'm going to, first I'm going to do a manual process of turning off discovery. So I said there's that discovery mode. That's why we're seeing all of those sites show up there. I just want to stop that so that we can apply our rules to enforce. Those two features conflict with each other. So stopping that. I'm going to come back to the code, and I am going to comment out the discovery code. So that was the code that made it, that turned that on. And then I'm going to uncomment the code that is going to set up the rules.
Yep.
And this is the code here. I'm not going to get into that so much, except what I will show you is here's the input to that code, which is just a set of rules, TCP, UDP rules. Essentially, this is what we will allow. We will allow this. We will allow nothing else.
Yeah. So either we can do it through Terraform, or customers can just go directly to the Aviatrix UI and then just specify what are the sites that are whitelisted, and everything else will be blocked.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's really up to you whether you want to do it through code or everything can be done both ways. And as a customer, we had even set up a process. We manage these rules in code, and then we had development teams could make requests to update what they could get to on the internet. They could just they knew what they needed to get to. They put in a new feature, they need to get to something, and so they would just make the update to the code, and then network engineers would apply that code to actually implement those changes. But it all started with the development teams being able to, since it was code, describe what they wanted to see. So here you can just see rules being added for each one of those things that I showed. We'll apply this just a few seconds.
Yeah. And John, can you also show it on the controller UI on where we are adding these rules? You have to do it in the UI, and or where it is appearing now when we are adding it.
Absolutely, yeah. So just wait for that.
Okay.
And so yes, over here and this is the controller view. In our security egress control, and I might just refresh this now. And so now you see this new tag, allow egress. If I edit this, you can see each of those rules that was added there.
Perfect. It's great.
So now I would expect if I go out to my my instance and I try to get to something that I didn't explicitly allow, like HTTPS .dev, no longer able to get there.
Okay.
What else?
CNN. Let's try my favorite ESPN also.
My favorite as well. Oh, and short and easy to type. Yeah,
okay,
our applications don't need to get to ESPN. Yes. But just to demonstrate, of course, that we can get to something that is explicitly allowed. And here's the interesting. So I can't get to aviatrix.com, but I will be able to get to docs.aviatrix.com. And why is that? Let's go take a look at what did I set up my role? Star.aviatrix.com, not just aviatrix.com. So that was blocked as well. And I did put in this one UDP role for DNS lookup. So I can get to DNS Google. So what I would expect here, let's just go back to here. And so I did a dig, well, doesn't matter, CNN.com. So if I go after DNS.Google, I get a reply. If I try to use Cloudflare, not so much.
Good. Okay. Perfect. That's a great demonstration to showcase how we were so easily able to move our traffic hitless, completely hitless, from a native NAT gateway to Aviatrix Secure Egress. And then we have a Terraform to then basically remove that NAT gateway, and then provide ability for operations team, cloud architects, cloud infrastructure people to go and put the rules that they want to applications to get access to on the internet, while everything else will be blocked. So a very easy way to then not only do the NAT functionality, but also get full visibility of what's happening in your VPC and what applications are being accessed to, and then secure it, control it with a whitelist and a blacklist that you can do based on FQDNs as well. So very important functionality. The one thing I want to mention is, how do you save cost in all of this? Uh, the way you save cost is with NAT gateway or NAT gateways that CSP provides. You are also paying for data processing charges. Data processing charges are different than the egress cost. So egress cost you're still paying, but you're no longer paying for data processing charges because Aviatrix do not charge for data processing charges. Right? So this way, if you have hundreds of NAT gateways sending terabytes of data, you're paying for that traffic. You may not even know that. But if you look at your bill, AWS bill, Azure bill, or if you look at things like Cost Explorer, you will exactly find out how much you're paying for NAT gateway. And all of that is a cost saving for you. We have customers who are saving millions of dollars in a year just on NAT. This is something that we are working with CSP directly because they also want the customers to save cost and get better visibility and security. So with this one change, low hanging fruit for you guys, you can move your NAT to a secure Aviatrix Secure Egress, save cost, better visibility, better security, and be a cloud hero in front of your organization and especially your CFO.
That's exactly that's exactly the case I made when I wanted to implement this as a customer. I said, look, I can bring us security and I can make it cost effective just because we're gonna not be paying all of these NAT gateway charges. It was an easy sell.
Absolutely. That's great. That's perfect. We are going to post this to social media, LinkedIn, and other Aviatrix website, along with the link that John shared with the full access to the Terraform, as well as we also will have resources which will allow you to exactly find out how much you can save using the what you can punch in from your AWS bill to a TCO calculator where you can get this, or you can just reach out to us and we can help you with that. So thanks, John. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.